We're here today talking with Roy Murch about his book, Everyone is Someone, featuring the 2020 pandemic, COVID-19. Roy, thank you for taking time to join us today.
Well, thank you for having us. Thank you.
Why don't we start? Just tell us a little bit about your book.
Uh, the book goes over a lot of topics, but mostly it's mental health. And when this pandemic started, I just knew that I had to write about it because we would have started 2 weeks earlier. We could have saved 200,000 lives.
So you're kind of the inspiration and the thought process behind the book starts back in, I guess that would be early February, early March of 2020.
Well,
Was
I've got
there,
I've got 20 months of the pandemic. I mean, I've got from the start to the finish, up to the election, up to the insurrection, and I've got it day by day, month by month. So it's and I wanted to. It took me 2 years or over a year just to make sure that everything was back checked because I didn't want to put out any fake news
sure.
or I want everybody to get the right news or the right idea that this is not made up. I didn't pull it out of my butt or anything. I just this is if it was something from the newspaper, I put the newspaper there and the editor that wrote that news.
That was going to be my question, is how, if it started as you just kind of journaling or dialoguing about your life, or kind of what the inspiration. I mean, I know it came from the pandemic, but was there a moment in time where you thought, I need to document this and write about this, or kind of talk through that process for us?
Well, it was something that I felt that I had to do because we sit there and as far as we knew, he was President Trump was saying it was fake news, and that he was leading us to believe that there was no pandemic, and just those 2 weeks alone would have saved lives. And the 1918 Spanish flu, we only lost 675,000. Well, we've lost over 1 million lives over this COVID-19 because nobody wanted to wear masks, nobody wanted to stay 6 feet apart. They were listening to Trump and not listening to the scientists.
Yeah. So what would you say is kind of your, without giving away the book, obviously, because we want people who are watching to read the book, but is there one big teaser, takeaway, something, one big statement that you could make about the book to leave with us?
Well, the biggest statement is that we're all immigrants here trying to make a better life for our family, and there's no room at all for racial injustice. And this is the strongest point that I can say is that we're all here raising our family, and we're made up of all immigrants from all over the world, and there should never be any racial injustice. And police reform, we really need that. And we would have never even known that it existed without this 17-year-old girl that took this picture that showed where George
Floyd, yes.
Yeah, George Floyd, lost his life. And this was just, I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I didn't sit there and look back there to see what nationality was behind me watching my back. I just knew that we were a team, and they were there to save me, and I was there to save them. And there's so much division now that we're trying to, like I said, Robin put this in as one chapter in the book. All you need is love, and that was one of her contributions because we need to get rid of the hate and bring back the love.
Yeah. Well, Roy, thank you for serving. I didn't realize you were a Vietnam veteran. Thank you so much for serving our country. And I think you're right in that love and kindness would solve a lot of our problems today. Before we end, anything else you want to share with our audience about you or about your book?
Well, I just hope that it's a must-read book. It's got a lot of information in there. It just don't start with the pandemic and and everything else. It's got a lot of things in there about uh, sex trafficking, illegal drugs, rape, molestation. It's like 3 books in one, but it's 3 volumes is what it is, and they're all bind together as mental health.
Okay.
But it's all the different things that are wrong with our country that we need to straighten out, and for Pete's sake, we don't have room for any racial issues at all.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing, and as we were talking before, I think one of the things you're most excited and we want to make sure and highlight is the book is available not only in print or ebook form, but now as an audiobook. So if you have an Audible subscription or you want to jump on Amazon or iTunes and grab the audiobook version of it, it's available through Audiobook Network. You can listen on the go and engage with Roy's writings. Thank you so much, Roy, for taking time to join us today.
Do you want to, Robin, you want to jump in here and say anything? This is my co-author, Robin Frost.
Hi, sweetie.
Do you have anything to add to our conversation today, Robin?
Yes, I just hate is a very powerful word, and I don't like it.
I agree. We've talked about, he gave you credit in the chapter. Remind me of the title of your chapter that you wrote about love.
Yes, and everyone is a someone.
Yeah. All you need is love.
All you need is love. Yes. Yes.
You know, I've got 3 books, and that chapter is in all 3 of my books, because love is exactly what we need in this country. Again, we need to, instead of just throwing God away, we need to bring God back in our lives, and we need to. It's not a Christian book, and I don't want people to think that, but it's like she said, united we stand, divided we fall. Yeah. And we've got to unite together, make decisions together to keep this country, going, and before us older people turn it over to the next generation of lawmakers and things like that, we got to make sure that they can handle all this power and go the right way with it.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Roy. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your passion and desire. And as I said earlier, for serving during the Vietnam War as well. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Scott, for having us.
Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.